Hi, Dad. Monday, May the 5th. It's 11 o'clock in the morning. I've been at the cottage, just packing up to get back home. I took a couple quick videos to show you what I've done over here yesterday, the day before, and last week. So I hope you like them. This is my onion bed, which I just started last year. So earlier this spring, I dug it up so that I could dig down underneath into the clay layers and mix it with the decomposted seaweed, manure, leaves, and everything else that I put in there. When I did that, there was a bunch of onions left over from last year. So everything from this mark here and to the right is last year's onions that I just replanted. Everything from this mark and to the left is what I have raised from seed this year. I put them in, the seed ones, I put them in last week and they seem to be doing well. Last weekend I also put in the soaker hose. And our outdoor water is now hooked up so I can water it directly from the greenhouse. I just run my hose from inside out here and hook it up at that end and it waters the whole thing. I think that onions are heavy drinkers. That sounds funny once you say it. I think onions are very water heavy, so hopefully this will help them do better. At this end I also planted some kale. This kind is white Russian kale and it's currently my favorite. Unfortunately, it's not just my favorite. Somebody has been in and has been eating some of them off. I don't want to lose them all, so I was trying to figure out something to do to collar them. I found these nail boxes in the basement. I just cut off one end and held them in place with garden stakes. So hopefully that'll work. I also have an old flimsy pot from something, I think it was bought at IKEA. I just cut out the bottom and one side because I don't have a whole lot of the paper boxes. So I'll put these last two on and hopefully it'll work. All right, here we go. 6 little plants protected after 2 got chewed off. I got a old peanut butter jar as well, cut off the bottom. Man, it was hard to cut through the screw lines at the top. That's pretty difficult to cut through, but I use bypass pruners. So hopefully that will work, and so that these guys will get big enough to withstand being eaten. As you can see, this one, somebody was in and got it too. So hopefully these collars will help. They don't really need to get completely saved because there's 6 plants there and that'll produce quite a bit of kale. I just want to get them big enough where they'll be able to grow taller than where the bunny will reach. In case anybody is wondering, this is what's going on in the greenhouse. Finally got my water line secured in one spot because last year it was just a hose that was hanging around, which was a pain in the butt, so now it's secure. Came in last week. I put in 2 little basil plants. It's kind of an experiment because I don't know if it will still get cold in here at night. Since I put them in last week, I don't think it's gone down below 10 degrees in here at night, except maybe once. I also have, it's hard to see them, a couple little rosemaries. And I can tell at least this one's putting out roots because it's got a lot of green shoots on top. This is currently the ground temperature, so like 14 degrees ground temperature. My max min thermometer, I already reset it today, so that's why the minimum on this side looks so quite high. So it looks like when I reset it, it was already 17 degrees in here, and currently it's 22. I have a sweater on and I'm sweating, so I'm gonna wanna get out of here quickly. This was also an experiment. That is a little loofah that I put in a couple weeks ago. It might have been too early, which is why I only put out the one. Next week, sometime I'll probably put in a couple of spaghetti squash that I have and more loofah. This is my olive tree. I just pulled it out of my bedroom and put it in here today. It spent the night on the deck last night. And those are the 3 fig trees. So the fig trees spent the winter in the basement, which is really too warm. They kept trying to grow and they were drying out and it was too warm. They didn't have their dormant period. When I brought them out, I really think it might be too late for this one and probably also for that one. It's got one stem that had some green color, so I was hoping, but I'm not sure that it will survive. So nothing much going on in here. I did bring the rain barrel in here before the outside water was hooked up so that I could fill it with water and water things in here. So we have a sump pump that we run from the lake to water the greenhouse in the winter. So I brought the sump pump out and hooked it all up with the hoses, ran the water up and filled that up, and then the next week Bruce hooked up the water. So that's currently what's going on in the greenhouse. That's a bunch of plants that overwintered in the greenhouse. Well, not all of them were in the greenhouse. The big pots were hidden in behind it. This year's project for the garden will be a garden shed, which will go there. I've already moved the pallet full of bags of soil into a shed, the pump shed on the other side of the house. I've moved one of my compost bins to the other side of that tractor shed, and the other one will be moving there shortly. Well, in the next couple of weeks. The garden shed is ordered. It's one that you order the pieces all put together, like the trusses and stuff, and then you just frame it and put it up. So hopefully that will work out well. This is not very exciting. This was my zucchini bed last year, and it probably will also be a squash bed this year. The plastic is on there because I turned it over some this year and earlier in the spring, and I put down some compost, which is always full of weed seeds. So I put the plastic over there to heat, light, germinate, and then I'll kill the plants that grow so I can plant what I want in there. This is my rhubarb bed, which was originally supposed to only have 2 rhubarb plants in there, but there are 4. That stuff grows like a weed. It's kind of hard to get rid of. This is unusual. I wonder what dug in there. Oh shit. I also wonder what dug in there. So that's new from yesterday. That's another dig spot. Wow. Okay. That is a surprise to me. I got hellebores and they're looking lovely. White ones and some pink ones and ones in other places. I always love this one. This is all soft and fluffy. It's called pasque flower. Usually comes up around Easter. There's some more of it there. Got some white hellebores, some purple ones at the bottom of that stump. Ooh, a bird in that tree just scared me. So this is one of my garlic beds. They're coming up quite well. Good germination too. Well, not germination, good grow back, because I planted them in lines and it doesn't look like there's any spot where they're missing. Although that little guy's pretty tiny. I trimmed out one of my mulberries this year because it was getting too thick. There's some more garlic. This is a different kind, so I put it in a different bed. This is originally where the rhubarb was. I thought I had dug them all out, but man, that stuff's hard to kill. My asparagus bed, this year I've harvested from it. I've gotten, I don't know, maybe a dozen or so. It's quite dry and it's like full of tree roots as well, which makes it really difficult. Oh, damn it all. What the hell? So, maybe I'll irrigate it more this year. Earlier this year, I did come in with some lake water from the watering can. So I have several beds that I've put the plastic on. Some of them I dug up quite well and then put a bunch of compost in. So again, the plastic is to heat, retain moisture, and germinate stuff underneath so I can weed it out when I get back. This is one of the haskap bushes. There's the big one, and there's a couple smaller ones in here too. I think I'm going to give them to Aletha and Brandon because I'm not really much interested in haskap. I don't really know why I planted it. This is my black currant bush, ready to bloom. And the grapes got pruned this year. The strawberry plants are still very small. I think if it doesn't rain hard later this week, I will hook that soaker hose up and give it a good soaking. There's one other thing I want to show you. Besides my cat, I want to show you my cat. He loves being out on the deck. And yes, he's got his little collar harness on. Anyway, this is what I wanted to show you. Oh, it's hard to see. Maybe if I get down at this angle. This is a viburnum bush. They bloom in the spring. They bloom pink and they smell spicy sweet. I had it at the house in Tantallon and it never did well. It was slowly dying year by year. Put it in here and it's living. I think it was a moisture problem. It's way very dry there. Okay. I'm out of breath, I'm hot in my sweater, and I'm packing up to go home. Check you later, guys.